Okay, hello, I'm Dana, and today I will talk about how to make pretty UI in your application. And with me, there are two colleagues who will answer your questions. You can write your questions in the question part of GoToWebinar. I'm sure you will find it. And they will answer them there. And in the end, we will have a few minutes where they will present the most interesting questions for everyone. So maybe I can start now. Okay. So today we will talk about how to adjust your application according to your company branding. We will talk about images, how to make forms and views as good as you want to. So first of all, what we call branding in Woodford is this are these information about in the about part of the application. You can change them here in Woodford, and you can also change all of the colors everywhere. I have some pre-recorded demos, and but I will comment them a little now. So let's start with the first one. Okay, so here is the branding page where you can change the title of your application, manufacturer, your website, and also your icon. And this icon is actually a path to an image in Woodford. Let's remember is logo.png. And here, yeah, you have to save everything that you do. And now if we go to images, there are these directories. And the first logo was for the directory, and the second logo was for the name of the picture. So you can just go here and change the picture here. That's like my logo here. We have to save it, and we can also change those colors. Here is the WYSIWYG editor, which is quite new and I think quite nice. And you can see what you are doing here. You can pick the color from this RGB picker, or you can also write down the color, write down the RGB number of the color, RGB code. Okay, yeah, and you have to click OK if you want it to work. I hope everything is clear. If it's not, then you can write your questions there. And yeah, you can also change the colors of the icons. For example, this color will change this icon. And yes, here is how to change the name of the color. And now I think, we will see how it looks like in the application. You have to save it, publish it, and then when you open the application, you have to synchronize it. And down, and yeah, you can see the changed colors here. You can see that also those tabs, those icons and those tabs down there has changed. And here is the about section, which was changed first. Okay. So let's go back to my presentation. This was just like the easy start. And so we can get to the serious stuff here. Those are the images. And we know two types of images. First, there are entity images. Those are those images in the application that are tied to a particular record. For example, you've got some contacts there, and each contact has a photo of them. And we call those entity images. There are also project images or static images, and they are related to your app project. Those are these icons and yeah, basically every static image in your app. Okay, so we will talk about those project images, those static images now a bit. If you open the images, as you already saw when I was changing the logo, you will see these images listed in the alphabetical order. You also have this checkbox in here. If you want to show, there are common images. Those are not platform-specific images, and also platform-specific images. We recommend you using the common images in XHDPI resolution. And Woodford will automatically resize images as appropriate for the device. Images are organized into directories. We have different directories here. You can change the commands, buttons. You can change icons on home, icons on tabs, and basically what you see here. And you can also add a directory by clicking on this button. So it's pretty versatile. A good thing is to use the search function, because there is lots of them. So this will search in the directory. And you can add new images by clicking here, and you can also edit images by clicking on the image and then changing the custom image here. I will show you demo. Yes, so those are these common images and platform images which I was talking about. And now I want to change some images on home. What I would like to is to change the image for contact. So I will choose one, save it. And now I want to change image for map. So I'm using the search function. I click on the custom, choose the image I want to use, and just click save, and that's it. Or I can, if I want to use the default image, I can copy it or just delete it. If there is no image, or if it's deleted, the default image will be used. And yeah, I can also change images for setup and about section. So I just wanted to demonstrate this here. After you save it and publish it, you can open your application, synchronize it, and you will see the changes. Okay, so let's go back to my presentation. And let's talk about form layout now. We've got two types of form layouts. We've got this tabbed UI, tabbed layout, and this second one, which when we talk about it, we call it flexible layout. So the tabbed UI is specific with having these tabs, like if you click on the tab, you will see information, the fields that belong to that tab. While in flexible UI, everything is on one page, and this is like one tab. This is the other tab here. So let's look at how it works. Okay, you can change it. Okay, now I'm just showing you that like everything in this application is set as a tab layout, like accounts, contacts, and also leads. I can change it for the whole application in configuration. I have to be in the tab UI, and there I can change the flexible forms to true. This means that the flexible forms will be set, and every form in the application, or almost every form in the application, will be flexible. So let's check it that it worked as intended, and yes, we can see it works. But what if I want to have contacts and leads flexible? Like basically all of my app will have flexible forms, but I want my accounts to be in the tabbed UI. Then I can go to accounts, to the form. I can open my form in the form designer, click on this layout here, and change flexible form to disable. Here I would like to stop a bit. If I'm using a project default, it will take what is configured in configuration. Enable will use flexible forms, and disable will use classic tabbed UI. So I'm choosing this one, saving it, and you will see how the application behaves. We have to again synchronize it, and now I'm back in the tabbed UI. But contacts are still have flexible UI. Okay, now I will just quickly turn it back off, like everything. So my application, each form in my application is in tabbed UI, and then I will show you how you can how your user can set it up in the application, because sometimes you as an admin can say like, yeah, all tabs are going to be all forms are going to have tabbed UI, but your user might want something else. So they can just go to setup, click on it, yeah, and here under appearance, just check change this new form UI. New form UI is basically another word for flexible forms. And now all forms will be looking like this. Okay, let's go back to my presentation. So sometimes you might want to use tables. We've got two different ways how to set up a table. And by tables, I mean now that your fields in a form are not going to be like the whole row, but yeah, like a table. You can use auto grid option, which is very easy to set up, but it's not very flexible. You can just set up maximum number of columns and minimum width of the column, and then you've got some setting which is called grid behavior, which can force a field to be displayed as a row and disallowed some fields after it. What is on the picture is table, and this table gives us more possibilities. You can set up number of columns and number of rows. You can set up the width of the column, height of the rows, and you can also set the position in a table where one field can take two positions. Like for example, one field can take like 2 tiles, or even like 3 tiles like this. Okay, let's check it in a video. Okay, so I'm going to be here on this form, and I'm going to set up this auto grid on this address tab, and minimum width of the of the column will be 350. So now when I'm in application and when I open this, you can see that there are 2 columns, not 3, and each column has got somewhere between has got at least 350 width. And here is the setup where each column can have at least 350, and there can be 3 on the page, so it has changed like this. Okay, and about the tables, which are quite new and might be quite interesting for you. We'll just set it up by clicking. Yeah, I just added spacer so it's easier to see later on. And then I just clicked Add Table, and I added some fields that I feel like, yeah, I want to have them in this table. Okay, I will stop it here for a while. And what I want to show is that there is like slight indent here, and that's how you know that it's inside the table. If you are not sure, click on the table and it will be like darker gray, and you can see like this, like it's on the table. Okay, go back here. I'm setting a width of the table. I was setting a width of the table there. I will just show you better. And I can use this star notation. And that means that this column is going to be twice as large as this one or as this one. And now I just want to set up which field will take which tiles. So the city will take the tiles 4 and 5. The country will go through tiles 3 and 6. And website tile 2. Here was an error on form, and it just said that that there is this street field which is not in the table, like it doesn't have position. So I can decide if I want to add it there somewhere, just squeeze the table a bit, or just remove it as I did. Okay, let's save, close, publish, and synchronize the application. Which you have to do after each change, and let's just see what has happened. So here we see that the first column is twice as wide as the third column, and that the city and country takes those spaces that I defined for them. Okay. Okay, I will talk about images on forms a bit now. You can show the image in 2 ways. You can use Media tab. It would be like one of those tabs here, like I think it's this one, but it's just picture, so you won't see it. And if I open it, I just have image with some actions that I can do with the image. It can be like capture photo, select the photo, record video, capture signature. Or I can add image on a detail tab. It's what you see on this picture. And since this spring, you can access the image actions also from this tab. Before that, you could just see it. Okay, so let's check some video about this. I will again work on account on this form, and now I'm adding a media tab. I decided I wanted to call image is the name of the tab, and I decided I want to call this. I want this image to have a title form image. I decided this way because it's like there is some predefined style of the image that will nicely make it look nice later on. And don't worry, this will be explained later, these styles. So let's just accept that the title equals form image. And I want to be able to clear the photo, capture the photo, and select the photo. Oh, okay, save and publish. Always do that. Synchronize. Always do that, please. Let's go to accounts and open the image tab. And as you can see, you can capture or choose the picture. So if we click on the capture picture, the camera will open. You can see me yesterday here on the camera. And yeah, I'm not really like happy with the picture, so I'll just choose some picture. And I like this one because it has mountains and river and it's cute. I can save it. And I can also clear the picture by clicking on clear on the top right corner. Okay, now I want to now I want to add this image on the tab general. So let's check what will happen. I have to synchronize it. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can write to the questions. And I have this image here. And it's the same image as it was on the media tab. That's why I named it form image, because it uses some style that has form that has that is set up in a way that it takes form image and shows it there. And as I said before, since the spring we can access some actions from the general tab. So I'm gonna set it up here. I want to be able to capture the photo, or select the photo, clear it, and also I want to be able to edit image. Okay. Okay, so if I click on the picture now, I have these actions. I can either edit it or delete it. Edit will open it in a note, and yeah, I can clear it here or edit. And this is just like some basic editor when I can turn it down, play around, have good fun, as you can see. Crop it. And save it then. And it's on both these pictures because they are the same. And I can also delete it. Then I will have this placeholder, that pin, and I can choose the picture or capture the picture. So I'm just choosing another picture here. I'm saving it, and again I can see it in the image tab and also on the tab general. Okay, I think that's it. And I also want to talk to you about field formatting. So we are still on the account, and as you can see, there are each field has some type, like single line of text, lookup, and so on. And there is also this formatting. This formatting helps helps us to if you change the formatting, the field will be might look differently, and it can also gives you some more actions. For example, if you use barcode formatting, you will have options on a list to scan a barcode, and you can then if you scan a barcode, you will be able to find the records that have that barcode which you just scanned in this field, which was set to barcode for nothing. So it's like that. But if you just want, yeah, and if you just want to change how the field looks like on the form, you can go to the form editor, open your form, and then you can change the style of the field. I already mentioned that, so let's get there a little bit. So let's get back a little bit. This is, for example, style multiline, and the label is on the top, and the field itself is a bit higher than when it's single line. You will see it now in the application after I synchronize it. Okay, so this is the website field. Label is on the top. It's a bit bigger. It's good for like descriptions and stuff. Okay, I changed it back, and let's talk about the formatting this image now. As you can see, currently it is a form node image, but I don't really want to change it, change the form node image, because if I do that, I will change I will change formatting of all images that use this style. It's like styles in Word. If you just change the definition, all of those fields formatted that way will be changed. So you probably don't want to do that because you don't know who else, which field is using it. So what I will do is that I just add a new style, and this will basically make a copy of that style, which will be listed down underneath that style. And here I want to change its name, so I know which one it is. And then I will want to change the label position. I want the label to be on the top in the center, and I want the image to be in the center. So I'm just changing some of these to fit it the way I want to. If you are not sure about these options here, you can always check our documentations, our wiki page, which is quite good, and it lists basically everything. So just check it and it will be okay. Now I want to change the style, and you can see that it immediately changed here. I changed it to my new style, and I don't want this field to have label image 1. I want it to be labeled image with the capital I. So I'm changing it there. And yeah, this is the previous version. And this is the new version. My label is where I want it to be, and it's what I want it to be. Okay, so this was my field formatting. And let's talk about views now. And let's talk about the view layout. Here you can see these fancy colors, and it's because we have several ways how to set up the view layout. So I want it to be like easy to understand for you. So yeah, and I will explain it a bit now. We have, first of all, we have this grid layout. Grid layout means that this is basically one row, which is set up in a way that you have a name of the record and the picture of the record here, and this is one row. And I want more rows to be next to each other. So basically, I want more columns. Um, and in the Woodford, in the view editor, this is a part of a view editor of Woodford. You just have to change these columns here. For example, if I wanted this list to look like this, I will just change these columns to 3 or to 4, or something like that. Then we have automatic responsive layout, and responsive means that if the view is narrow, it will look like this, and if the view is wide, it will look like this. This is what I define, but this is predefined. That's why we call it automatic, and it will be always like this when you set up this automatic responsive layout. It will always be just one row of stuff that is in the narrow view. And you might have a question how my application knows which is narrow and which is wide. If you had this question, it was a very good question, because there is this like boundary, and you have to set it up. And you set it up here in this green area, auto grid. For example, if I set it to 500, then if it's less than 500, if the width of the view is less than 500, it will look like this. If the width of the view is more than 500, it will look like this. Then we have custom responsive layout. The boundary stays like no. It also works like that if it's narrow, it's different than if it's wide. But we can define how it looks like when it's wide in this type of view layout. And first of all, I have to define all rows that I want to use. If I want to use 2, like here, this will be like narrow and this will be like wide. I have to define one narrow row and one wide row. Then I have to define width of the row for each of these rows. For the narrowest row, I can just give there like, I don't know, 250 or something like that. And for the wider view, for the wider view, I will add there, let's say 400. And if the width is 400 or more, the wider view will be used. Then I also have to define next wide. So for the narrowest view, the next wide will be the wider one. And for this one, I will just keep it the wider one. I will show you in video, don't worry if you don't understand it really now. I tried, but you will see it once again. And there we can also change the auto header. Header is just this, and you have some options here. You can change it here. And you can also do this magic that each row is different. Like this is different than this one. For that, you have to define more rows, and you have to write a row script to distinguish which row will use which row template. However, this goes to like business logic and conditions and stuff, and that's out of the scope of this training. So let's do a demo. Yeah. First of all, I want to show you the grid layout, which I've talked about the first. I don't want to change the default view. I want to add a new view. So I'm doing that. If I want it to be in a grid, of course, I want it to be more narrow. And I will just kind of play around with the widths of the fields and the view. Here I'm changing the width of the view, and yeah. And if I want to add the field city and country, I have to add it first to this right column by clicking on the select field. It's what you saw, what I did before, and now I'm just adding it to my row. And yeah, I want, and here I'm setting it up so it's a grid, and I want to have maximum of 5 columns. Okay, this is the grid view. You can change the which view is shown in here. And as you can see, I have as many columns as feet, but mostly 5. And all those columns always have the 110 pixels, which I set up in their width. Okay, now I will show you how to do, I think there is auto-responsive layout next. And yeah, I will play, and here I am setting that boundary that will when it changes from this view to the big one. And here is my auto responsive view. This is bigger than 500, as you can see, because it's like that view, and this is smaller than 500, and it's like the view that I defined. And yeah, the big one is predefined. It just takes all of the fields I have, but it puts it in one row. And the last one I will show you in this video is the custom responsive layout. I'm again adding city and country, and I'm setting the width to something very small. So this is used when it's like very narrow. Yeah. Okay. And still, if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to write. My colleagues, they will answer you anything. And now, as I said before, I have to add a new row. And yeah, it's what is the best to do is not to click to add row, but to click clone row and change its name so you know what you are doing. So I'm changing the name to white, and I'm adding there this width 500. So this view will be used if it's 500 or if the width of the view is 500 or more. I also want to add some street 1, street 2, street 3 fields, and I have to set it up. I'm changing the style of the field here, so you can see how to do this. And you can use this slider to feel more comfortable working with the row, designing the row. And I also have to change the next divide of the first view of to the second view. And the next divide of the widest, it's the view itself. And this will work perfectly. Okay, so you can see here how it's changing, and this like Rockingham Street is like the street 1, this 13 is like street 2, street 3 wasn't changed, and you could see that this USA was like sliding back and forth, and it's because it was aligned to the right. So I will just align to the left by changing the style to gray, and now it will just work as expected after I synchronize it. Okay, so this is what we wanted. And I also want to show you how to add images on a list, which I think is quite interesting. So if I lost you in the previous video, please listen to me now. So if I'm on the view, I'll just click add image. And here I'm just adjusting stuff so it looks good. And here you can see that this, oh, wait, okay, what just happened? You can see that this image that I added has this list node image style. And I clicked on edit styles just to check the query of the list node image styles. The query is what says where is this which image is shown there. That's what I was talking about in the forms, like the image that is named form image is here. And now this list node image style is set up so that image which has title list image will be shown there. And this image also has this lookup to the record on which it is shown. Yeah, and now I decided that I want to show this image that I have on form. I want to show it on the list. So it's the same image with which we played before. And I don't really want to change this list node image because I can use it somewhere else and I don't want to screw it. So let's just create a new style. And in this new style, I will just change the name so I know which one I'm using. And I will change the image query so it's not list image, but it's form image. And I will try to write it correctly so it actually can work. Okay, and I have to change the style of the image in the row. Save, publish, synchronize. And when we open it, we can see that there is this image. But what about the, yeah, this image? But what about the empty places underneath it? What about the empty places with the records that don't have images there? I can set up placeholder, and the placeholder is also set up in the style. So, and it's also in this query. It's here, and I have to write the path to the placeholder image again. It's the static image, which is in the images, the one with which we were working in the beginning of this training. and I decided that I want to take the icon that is in the home directories and that it's called contact. So it's the icon that is shown next to the contact in the home. And I want this to have as a placeholder image because I just decided so. You can choose anything else. You can define your own directory, add there your own image, whatever you wish to do. But I really wanted to have this effect. Okay, so let's go back to my presentation. And now let's talk a bit about buttons and multi-select. Buttons are these two things that are shown here. And yeah, I will show you a video. It's gonna be easy. Okay. If I want to set up buttons, I have to go to View, and you might remember then when I opened the application, when I clicked on the record, there were always this call, email, and more. So more is for opening the form, and call and email are buttons that are defined here. So I want to add one more button, SMS, which is pre-made for you. So it has an action and a name. So I'm just adding it here, saving it, and publishing, as we always have to do. And now, as you can see, if I click on it, since there is like lots of them, I now have like call, action, and action has like email, SMS, and I also have the more button. So I have everything I defined here. But what if I don't want any buttons here? So if I click on reset, I have no buttons. And you might expect that there will be this more button which will open the form. However, that's not what it is, because it would be actually quite like a lot of clicks, right? So after you click on a row that has no buttons, just opens the form immediately. Now let's talk about multi-select. Multi-select is kind of similar to buttons in that there are some actions which are defined for multi-select, and you will do those actions with all of the records that are selected. Here I'm adding the action change state to inactive, and this will be the only action I can do with my multi-select here. So let's save it and publish it. And synchronize the app. And now what you have to do is to click and hold. Like first I was trying that, I was really perplexed because I didn't know what was going on. They just told me like, hold it, hold it, hold it, a bit longer, it will work. And on the right corner down there, you've got also some calculations which you can do. I wanted to count the names of the list. You can see that 5 out of the 19 are selected, and I wanted to sum the latitudes because like it makes no sense, but it's fun. And yeah, I can click on the inactive, and all of these would be inactive if I click that, though I didn't want to. Okay. Let's go back to my presentation. And let's talk about home screen for a bit. I already showed you how to change the icons here. that you can have this nice org as contact. And if you change image that's called, yeah, I think image, you can have this logo here. What I did not show you is how to set up what will be in home, and that we will see in the next demo. So if you want to set it up, just click on home screen, and here you've got a list of items, list of home items. I decided I want to remove some of them, and I decided I want to keep those. And I also want to add a group, which is something like directory maybe, and I'm adding account, contact, and map to this group. Now I want to change the name of the group. I have to do it here, like this. I want to call it customers. I will save it, publish it, because we always have to publish it. And then I will just synchronize the application. And as you can see, down there is a group customers. When I click on it, it will open this list with accounts, contacts, and maps. Okay, and since we have some more time, I will try to find something which I wanted to show you, but yeah. Okay. Somewhere in the beginning, we were talking about this form layout, and I showed you how to change tabbed UI to flexible UI. What I didn't show you, because I just kind of forgot, is this. And it's basically some, yeah. And what I will show you in this demo is basically how to do some setup of this flexible layout. Now I'm showing you this Zeldany account because I added some contacts there. So it has 5 contacts. And please mind that there is this general tab. It's got icon and label. Address tab has also icon and label. Map is for 1 column, and there is this icon in the contacts, and there are 5 contacts. Okay, now let's go to account, to that form. And what I want to change is what will be shown. Like, for example, in this tab general, I don't want to show anything. I don't want to show label nor icon. I just want that to be hidden altogether. In the tab address, I just want to show the label, and I want the map to be not only in 1 column but in both columns. So I change the width to large, and I want this contact list to use the icon that is on home form because I just love that org. And I want the height to be 3 because I just want to show 3 rows of the contacts. So let's save and close it, publish it, and synchronize it. Let's open the Zeldany again, and as you can see, there is no icon and no label for the general tab. Address has no icon, map is large, it's quite wide, and contact has 3 rows there, and nice icon. Okay, and I will show you a bit more magic now. For this contact, when you change the orientation, this was the horizontal orientation, and we want to change it to vertical orientation. It's basically the way you scroll in that contact. And I also want to show you this expanded option, but I will show it to you on address, how it looks like if you collapse the address tab. Okay. So the address tab is collapsed by default. You can expand it as you wish. And this is how the vertical tab looks like. So you can basically switch between the vertical and horizontal list. And I actually think that's all from my side.